All right, everyone. We're here today to discuss King James, the House of Stuart. Now, we see here that the House of Stuart, originally spelled Stewart, also known as the Stuart dynasty, was a royal house of Scotland, England, Ireland, and later Great Britain. The family name comes from the office of High Steward of Scotland, which had been held by the family progenitor Walter FitzAlan around 1150. Walter FitzAlan was a 12th century Anglo Norman baron who became a Scottish magnate and steward of Scotland. He was a younger son of Alan FitzFlod and Elite Evelina de Hesdin. In about 1136, Walter entered into the service of David I, King of Scotland. The Great Steward of Scotland, also known as the High Steward of Scotland, is an officer who controls the domestic affairs of a royal household. In the 12th century, King David I of Scotland gave the title to Walter FitzAlan, a nobleman from Brittany, whose descendants adopted the name Stewart, and later founded the Royal House of Stuart. All right, and so a junior branch of the Stuart family descended from the younger son of Alexander Stuart, fourth High Steward of Scotland. He died in 1283, namely Stuart of Darnley, paternal ancestors of King James I and the Sixth. They lived for several generations in France, where the name became spelt in the French manner. So this is who King James is descended from, this Darnley line. Let's go back. So the, the notable thing about this is that the only people that could have this job of attending to the king's house and the king's family is people that were born into his line. And the first king of the Stuart line was Robert II, and he took the crown when the king died and didn't have any descendants. And his male line descendants were kings and queens in Scotland from the year 1371, and of England, Ireland, and Great Britain from 1603. That's when King James took over. All right, so that's how they became royalty. Now, the next thing we're going to look at is images of King James. Let's look at some images while we're on uh, this topic. Type in images, and you have to look at the early images because the later ones, I don't know who that is. Uh, the Wikipedia is giving me a whole bunch of propaganda. Let me go to uh, DuckDuckGo. Early images of King James. it's King James the First and the Sixth of Scotland. Yeah, that's it. All right, now I'm trying to figure out who is this. Who is this right here? Because this damn sure ain't King James. Now let's look at some early pictures of him. It looks like a black guy to me. Another one. Who is this? See, later on they whiten his face up. That's his signature. Who is that? There's a good one. Look right here. Look at this right here. Yeah, that's King James. Look at it. And this is supposed to be him as a boy. I damn sure don't believe that. You see some. You got to look at the real early pictures of him. Okay. Okay. Now this is him when he was a baby, allegedly. That's a line engraving that looks kind of like him. Here's one where he got his hat cocked to the west. That's how King James looked. And even back then, he kept a stingy brim, cocked to the west. That's King James. That's King James. These first pictures of him, and then later on, they lighten him up. He's the one that took over when Queen Elizabeth died. And later on, I'm going to add to this with the contributions that the Stuart family has contributed. King James is the one who authorized the translation of the English Bible. And also, he's the one that invented the post office. He had his own private delivery service because mail back then would take months, weeks, and even months to be delivered. So he just gave his private delivery service to everybody. Let's look at this one. Yeah. and his son was even darker than him. I think I've proved my point.